Daniels on first down. Gonna take a shot to the end zone, and Nabers comes up with it. Gonna launch it to the end zone. Nabers holds it in again. At the time he has, and he's got a man wide open, and you know who it is. Malik Nabers is just lighting it up this morning.
Looking to the end zone, launcher, Nabers, touchdown LSU.
I'm Alex Johnson, this is Yards Per Fantasy, and today we're talking LSU wide receiver Malik Nabers. We're going to dive into his background and college career, discuss the positives and negatives in his prospect profile, try to determine his dynasty value, and if and where you should target him in your rookie drafts. Malik Nabers, wide receiver LSU, he's a junior, he's just 20 years old, and he's listed at 6 feet, 200 pounds. Malik Nabers played the first 3 years of his high school ball in Lafayette, Louisiana, before transferring to Southside High School in Youngsville for his senior season. Unfortunately, however, he wasn't actually able to play football that season because his transfer waiver was denied. But luckily, he had his junior 2019 season to hang his hat on. That year, he caught 58 passes for over 1,200 receiving yards and 21 touchdowns, and that was still enough to catch the attention of major college programs. Nabers was a 4-star prospect and rated the number 18 wide receiver in the nation and the number 6 overall player in the state of Louisiana. He received offers from 32 schools, including Auburn, Georgia, Michigan, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Texas, and others. He actually originally committed to Mississippi State, but he changed course and he opted to stay in his home state of Louisiana. And as you know by now, he played at LSU. Nabers played in 11 games and he started 6 as a true freshman in 2021. He caught 28 passes for 417 yards and 4 touchdowns, and half of that production came in the final 4 weeks of the season. That helped him earn freshman All-SEC. And that strong finish propelled him into a more significant role in 2022. He turned his 72 receptions into 1,017 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. He led the SEC in receptions, and he was second in receiving yards. And Nabers once again led the SEC in receptions in 2023 with 89. That resulted in 1,569 receiving yards, which ranked number 2 in the nation, and he had 14 touchdowns. Nabers was just the second wide receiver in LSU history to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons per the school's website. The other was Josh Reed back in 2000. And at the end of the year, Nabers was named unanimous first-team All-American, first-team All-SEC, and he was a Biletnikoff Award finalist. He leaves LSU as the program's all-time leader in receptions with 189 and receiving yards with 3,003. And his 21 career touchdowns ranked number 7 in school history. Let's talk about the positives, the things that we like in Malik Nabers' profile. The first is he's a good route runner, one of the best in the nation. He also has excellent body control. He's got alignment versatility. He can line up at X, Z, or even in the slot. He's got excellent stop-start ability. He's an explosive playmaker with great acceleration, reaches that top speed very quickly, and he's good after the catch as well. Malik Nabers can win on all 3 levels. He's a physical player. He's got great ball tracking skills, and he averaged 6.8 receptions per game in 2023. 6 is the elite threshold that I look for. He also averaged 3.86 yards per team pass attempt in 2023. This is insanely good. 2.9 to about 3 is what I'm looking for as an elite level. So 3.86 is incredible. It shows how involved he was in that LSU offense. A true target commander. He also had a 32% receiving touchdown share in the LSU offense in 2023. It's not elite necessarily, but it's very good. And he had a 33.3% dominator rating. Dominator rating tells us how much of the passing offense a wide receiver accounted for. 30% is the good threshold that we're looking for, and 33.3% is very good. Not quite elite, but a box checked nonetheless. I also really like that Malik Nabers had 72 receptions and over 1,000 yards as a sophomore. We gotta love the early career production. The sophomore season in particular tells us a lot about a guy's NFL prospects. He had an age 19 breakout. Again, early career production. At 19, these guys aren't even fully developed players yet. And breakout age has a strong correlation to NFL and fantasy football production. And finally, he is an early declare. Another analytical box checked. Guys who declare early have a higher hit rate. It's a game of probabilities, and there's another box checked by Malik Nabers. On the negative side, Malik Nabers is a little bit of an inconsistent player versus press coverage. His release packages could be improved. He's also inconsistent in traffic, and he ran a somewhat limited route tree at LSU. But I have zero doubts that Malik Nabers is going to be able to have no problem expanding on that route tree at the NFL level. But before we get into my NFL comp and my draft projection for Malik Nabers, I just want to make sure that you are aware that you don't have to wait until your rookie drafts to get some shares of Malik Nabers. Underdog Fantasy makes it possible to draft these rookies right now. Go draft Malik Nabers, go draft Marvin Harrison Jr. or Brock Bowers. And when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, use promo code YARDSPER to get a $100 instant deposit match. I mean, I'm already drafting teams for 2024, so I will probably see you in a draft room. The archetype, Malik Nabers is a possession wide receiver. My NFL comp for him is Chris Godwin. I've seen a lot of DJ Moore comps as well, which I really can't argue with. And let me know in the comments if you think either Godwin or DJ Moore is a better comp and who yours would be. And while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. My draft projection for Malik Nabers, I expect him to come off the board inside the top 10. There's also a chance that he comes off inside the top 5. Absolute latest I could see him being drafted is number 15 to the Colts. The bottom line is Malik Nabers is among the best wide receivers in the 2024 NFL draft. He can pretty much do it all. He has decent size at 6 feet, 200 pounds. He can run effective routes from the X, Z, and slot positions. And his speed allows him to create separation down the field on posts, goes, and slot fades, but he can also dial it back to win in the short and intermediate areas of the field as well. Then, once he has the ball in his hands, he pairs that speed with elite quickness, acceleration, explosion, and strength to make it very difficult for defenders to track him down. He almost always gains yards after the catch. Nabers is good at just about every part of playing wide receiver. The only areas that could use a little bit of work are his release packages off the line of scrimmage, particularly against press coverage, and becoming more consistent in traffic and in contested catch situations. There are a few route concepts that we haven't seen much from him, but there's really no reason to believe that he won't be able to develop his route tree further at the NFL level. Otherwise, he's a complete prospect. He checks the size boxes, he checks the analytical boxes, and he gets the full approval from the film scouts as well. While he played a ton from the slot at LSU, and he would certainly get his fair share of snaps there in the NFL as well, Malik Nabers actually projects as a starting Z receiver at the next level. But again, he has the versatility and the skill set to play from any alignment in the NFL, and the teams drafting him are going to love that. They will also appreciate his ability to make explosive plays from anywhere on the field, something that is coveted in today's game. In many other draft classes, we would have Malik Nabers locked in as the wide receiver 1. Instead, he's looking like the second wide receiver off the board behind Marvin Harrison Jr. But it won't be any surprise to see both of these guys go in the top 10 though. And like I said before, top 5 wouldn't be that shocking either. In Dynasty, Malik Nabers is the locked-in top 3 selection in 1 quarterback rookie drafts, and he's gonna be a guy that you can rely on for consistent production for many years to come.